My mic was off. Hello, hello. That should be sound, I think. I'm not sure. But if you're tuned in, if you're here live, feel free to sit around and wait until the stream starts. When the timer hits 0, grab a drink, get some coffee, whatever time it may be for you. Take care of yourself. For people watching in post, skip ahead. There's a timer on the screen that lets you know when we start. And that's it. What's up, Eric? Nice to see you back. Hello, hello, Mango Cheesecake. It's nice to see you. Cool. Okay, looks like I've got things under control. Things are a little sketched 5 minutes ago, but now we are better. let me go share the link on Blue Sky while I wait. Ooh, my internet bad? Okay, I think we're back in. We're back in it. Okay. That was weird. Cool. I think we're good. Watching the bitrate. I just totally disconnected from the internet for a second. Okay, cool. How are we doing? Who's in chat? Mango Cheesecake and Thumper, welcome back as always. Eric, how was the trip? It was great. The trip was so good. Oh my gosh. I went to Norway for 10 days. Beautiful country. Everything is insanely aesthetic there. Like every corner you round, because we were driving for like 4 or 5 days of the trip. Every time you round a corner, every time you leave a tunnel, you're hit with a new mountain, a new fjord, just some picturesque clouds and like big grass fields. Crazy views the whole time. I did not know how to process it. But yeah, I'm back. And home is nice. So I'm resting up. I'm still a little sleep deprived, so I will be sleepy. Hey Wink, what's up? Welcome back. Nice to see you. Let me get the game open while I'm talking. Cool. Okay. Things are happening. Where was I? Oh, I went to Norway for 10 days. That's why I wasn't here last week. But I think we're good to go on all Tuesdays, at least till the end of November. So we're gonna be moving and grooving. Let me just double check some things on my end. Great. Let's do it. Welcome back. We're back. Welcome everyone to another episode of the 99 More series where we cover 99 tabletop RPGs. This is episode or book or game number 89 of 99, which means after this point we only have, let me double check actually. Is it really 89 of 99? That'd be crazy. Yes, it is 89 of 99, which means after this episode we will officially be in the 90s, in the home stretch. There will only be 9 more games I cover adjacent to the series. There might be games I cover after it. I'm just saying that because this has been a really long, a 3-year endeavor for me. I cover around 30 to 40 games a year, and it's finally coming to a close very, very soon. So a lot of the games that are coming up are pretty exciting. I think I have the rest of September lined up already, and working on October and November here on out. But that said, today our game is Dawn the RPG. Dawn the RPG is an awesome looking game. I've had my eyes on this for a very long time. Since I've been browsing itch, this has always been in my periphery, right next to other battling games like Gubat Banwa, like Panic at the Dojo, games that really focus on this kind of high octane action focused storylines adjacent to anime usually. But yeah, this has just been lurking in the corner for long enough, so I reached out to the author. I got permission to cover this game on stream, and here we are today. The cover looks incredible, and I truly honestly don't know much about it beyond what is available on its itch.io description page, and what I see with my own 2 eyes right now. So with that said, let's get into this book, because I don't really have much more of an intro. I just was really excited to finally cover this. I think I have had this on my to-read list for a very long time, and I'm ready to get into it. Let's jump in. This next page will not be good looking. Yeah, there it is. Okay, could be worse. I'm just going to load up the itch.io page just so you guys know where to find it. Okay, Dawn the RPG, available at joel-happyhill.itch.io/dawn. This is available in the video description as well to get to this page. Dawn the RPG is a 2 to 5 player tactical action RPG based in a almost manga style game. I'll read this blurb just to get us warmed up. There's something different about you. You might hit harder than others, know more, or break the rules that you thought held the world together, and you're not the only one. But no matter how hard you think you hit, someone else hits harder. Thousands upon thousands are older than you, more experienced, more privileged, and more selfish, but you've got one advantage: you're a rising star, full of potential, and ready for the dawn. Dawn is a grid-based, combat-focused, setting-agnostic tabletop role-playing game or tabletop RPG inspired by a wide range of battle manga, anime, and tactical video games. Now, people who know me, I'm just going to slowly scroll through the art because the art is incredible here. People who know me, I love me a good battle manga, a battle anime. I live for good tournament arcs. I live for cool action sequences. As someone who was raised on watching the entirety of Naruto, Bleach, I watched a whole lot of, why is it not coming to mind? My Hero Academia, of course, God of High School. Shoot, there's a whole lot of really cool. I don't know why I'm blanking, but truly, I've been an anime fan for a very long time, and action shonen has been my my favorite since middle school. So, seeing something that really leans into the tropes and understands the nuances of the motifs. This is giving like strong Studio Trigger vibes, which is sick. Anything that leans into that and really like understands it for what it is and has tried to turn it into a tabletop RPG, I always appreciate the effort. So I'm looking at games like Break in particular, or Fabula Ultima, that embrace the anime world and do their best to convert it into a style of gameplay that people enjoy. So this is just one of a few, and it has been on my list for a good while. So wow, the art really doesn't run out. It's so good. But yeah, you can find it on itch.io if you want to buy it for yourself. And let's dive in. Eric Victor, have you watched World Trigger? I read World Trigger. I was following it until the upload slowed quite a bit. And then before I realized that the anime came out, and I just peeked at all the scenes that I really liked. I love World Trigger. It's like the sci-fi battle arena type situation where they're trying to figure out who's going to space, and one of their team members is an alien, and one of the team members is a girl who shoots like tactical nukes but doesn't like hurting people, something like that. I'm pretty sure that's World Trigger. I did enjoy it as long as I was following it. So be it. Let's jump in. The battle manga tabletop game. All right, this is a hefty PDF. Oh, internet's being lame again. Give me a sec. I'll keep going and hopefully my internet keeps up. Ideally, it's fine. But this is a hefty PDF. It has 134 pages and plenty of rules. I really like that. It seems that there's going to be a whole lot of art that we're going to be going through, which is awesome. Okay, let's get some of the core ideas out there. Okay, ready to go. Let's do it. So it says Dawn is I think we read this already. Dawn is a grid-based combat-focused setting-agnostic tabletop role-playing game inspired by battle manga, anime, and tactical video games. Create your heroes, discover truths of the world, face off against fearsome villains, and grow in a world of your own making. Embark on an adventure with friends, coming with its highest highs and lowest lows, bearing the greatest storms to gaze upon the beautiful dawn. These are the basic rundown of some of the more recognizable mechanics. The game is fully setting agnostic, so you can play it in any world, existing or original, so long as it has combat, the supernatural, and isn't concerned with realism. XD6 resolution system. When attempting to resolve conflict, you'll roll 6-sided dice, treating rolls of 4 or more as hits. You'll need some number of hits of these dice to succeed. I see. Okay. So just a certain number of success. When you roll a 6 using the XD6 system, it's counted as a critical hit, letting you roll an additional die. Nice. I'm wondering if this stacks. Oh, they say exploding, so maybe. The concept behind exploding dice is like, if you roll the max number on the die, you can roll again, like add another die of the same value. And theoretically, you can roll again if you roll 6 again, kind of like the Kids on Broom system with the D4s. I mean, the Kids on Broom system with Lucky Break, I think they call it, when you roll the max number on the die. Meta resources. Players will gain and track influence throughout the night game, and narrator will track antagonism. Both are meta resources that serve to reward players who interact with the story. They're incredibly important and can be spent in any mode of play. We're reading a lot of games that use game master resources as a tool to give game masters a like tangible resource that they can spend to add twists and turns to the story. Almost as if to like let the game master have the right or the I don't know, like a tangible privilege to do crazy things or make heavy swings. Interesting. Ooh, custom abilities. In unstructured play,
players can create a custom ability for their character. Special power created using a point system that puts a cost on how you can use it, what you can use it on, and what needs to happen for it to activate. Custom abilities, cool. I wonder if they'll have like a page explaining the mechanics of it. Toolbox character building. Combat builds are made up of a set of individual features rather than using an overarching class. Archetypes exist as a way to characterize these techniques, but they do little to restrict characters. Characters build any combination of techniques from up to 3 archetypes in any order. Interesting. That's cool. So it's like, instead of going like 6 levels of fighter, so to speak, it's like, hey, I'm going to pick these 3 archetypes, and then as I level up, I can pick techniques from each of these 3 archetypes in any order I like. That's neat. It's like when you level up in a game and you get to choose the new move you want to use to hit somebody with. It can be like low sweep, forward punch, or uppercut. That's kind of the vibe I get with this. There's not really a class attached to it as much as it's serving a specific purpose. No inventory. Nice. If you feel like your character should have a sword, they can have a sword. When they heal, they could pop a regeneration serum, use magic, or just tough it out. Character's equipment only depends on what the user finds most interesting. Yeah, this is an approach by some games to avoid like the minutia of inventory or item stats. Most often when you see this in a game, it's often tied to features like, this feature does this. You, the player, tell me what that looks like. So it's like, you swing widely, dealing 2d6 damage, right? What weapon you use for that, what that looks like, what element is attached to it, how if there's an after effect, or if there's like a cool sound to it. All that is obviously up to you. Flavor is free. All that matters is that the mechanical benefit is static. You flavor it however you want. So it says here basically, like when you heal, you could either pop a serum or use magic or just tough it out. However you want it to look, as long as it has the mechanical benefit, it's totally fine. It's in the same line of thinking as like a healing potion in D&D is 2d4 plus 2. But if that existed in this game, it would be like, you heal 2d4 plus 2, explain what that looks like, you know? Whether it be like a bunch of bandages or a tonic or, you know, just meditating, rather than it being attached to any specific item. Okay, inspirations. I'm sure they're going to list a good amount. Yeah. Inspirations. Shonen, manga, and anime. We just talked about that. Genre marketed towards young men and boys, often focus on the struggles of magical underdogs in fantastical worlds, or earnest heroes in seedy urban fantasies. Now, punching each other is the best way to communicate these structures. Dawn specifically draws from rock blasting, canopy, fantasy manga like, let's see what I've read. I've read Fairy Tail, I've read Black Clover, I've read all of Magi. Oh my gosh, that is a long series and I loved it. It's been so long since I've heard about Magi. And I never finished Black Clover, but I finished Fairy Tail, I finished Magi. Galaxias, I don't recognize, and Radiant. Stuff with relatively simple systems and worlds more focused on action. Tactical games. Focus on tactical combat, of course. The obvious connection to make is to other tactical RPGs such as Lancer. You covered Lancer. Or the other works of Massive Press. The other works include like Icon. Shoot, what's the other one? There's Icon, there's Lancer, and there's one more that I'm really blanking on, but that's fine. Dawn's combat is more inspired by tactical video games. Games like Disgaea and Waven, beat 'em up MMOs like L Sword or I remember L Sword or Grand Chase, card games like Wild Frost or Legend of Runeterra, rest in peace, Legends of Runeterra, and pretty much any fighting game by Arc System Works. So this is the team behind, I believe, BlazBlue and Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Arc System Works is crazy. Narrative RPGs. Is Arc System Works behind Marvel Tokon? Does anyone follow fighting scene? No? That's fine. They're crazy. They're really good. Narrative RPGs. For the mechanics outside of combat, Dawn takes quite a few inspirations from narrative-focused RPGs. With more dedicated rules to push their themes. Some include Tenra Bancho Zero, Kane, and Fabula Ultima, which we covered. Fabula Ultima. Did we cover Kane? I can't remember. Assumptions, a love for combat, a non-lethal world, respect for your group. Finally, in Dawn, as he gives a lot of opportunities for players to indulge in drama and have selfish little moments in the spotlight. If the player wants to exploit that and isn't challenged, then they can really take the wind out of everyone's sails. It's important to remember that almost no one will do this on purpose. Always extend the same attempts of communication for them. Okay. I'm curious. I'm most curious, I guess, moving forward about their character creation system. And it sounds like their dice resolution system is based on a lot of d6s and hits on success. But I'm curious. They're pulling from. I don't think, does Lancer use an XD6 system? I can't quite remember. But I know Lancer's on the upper echelon. Is that how you say that word? Echelon? I think it is. In the upper echelon of like very tactical, heavy tabletop RPGs. And if it's saying it's like Lancer, then there's probably a pretty heavy level of depth to this. Triple Person, welcome to the stream. You did not miss much. We're talking about Dawn the RPG. I don't know if I've ever heard of the game Kane. Maybe I'm totally blanking and I have read it, but that's cool. Yeah, but Triple Person, you didn't miss much. What Dawn doesn't do. Oh, this is an interesting section. I like this. It's like, this is a game that does not do these things. Evoke horror. Recent shonen like Chainsaw Man, JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen. Subvert force. Yeah, I think this is a very cool thing for a game to just say outright. That's just like, hey, this game is focused on combat. A lot of its power, a lot of a player's power and agency comes through using force. And that's just what the game is like. Which is fine, which is totally cool. It's so honest to say, hey, it's not really a game about puzzles, you know? Like, we've dedicated like 100 pages to the combat mechanics. So like, you shouldn't be too mad if the players want to fight and resolve problems through fighting. That's exactly what this game was designed for. Which is nice, you know? Sometimes I just want to beat things up, okay? Sometimes I just want to get in there. But yeah. So this is basically saying it can take a lot of players. I don't want to say like expression, but the characters in this game truly shine when they're allowed to fight and participate in these combat situations. Triple Person is what number is this? This is game 89 of 99. Create fluid power system. The supernatural elements of Dawn characters pretty solidly fit into a formula of using X and Y. Abilities are unique and cannot really be recreated unless another character's ability is to do so. Sure. If your world wants to make the supernatural fluid and versatile, you will struggle. There are guidelines on how to solve some of these problems, but it could still be a major roadblock to your game. Okay. Is this basically, I'm trying to understand, is this basically saying like power level doesn't fluctuate based on how hard you scream? Because that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. It's like people's power levels are pretty set. This is a cool character. Characters are power level are pretty set, and you can't just yell to be stronger. But we'll see. Dawn does not engage in with all shonen. Yeah, I mean, there's too much shonen. You can't engage with everything, for sure. Dawn is first and foremost a tactical RPG inspired by shonen and is not intended to be the manga game, whatever that may be. Sure. World of Dawn. Ooh, let's zoom out for this. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, this book will focus on 3 official and original settings: World of Sand and Stars, World of Daggers and Dusk, World of Fairies and Frost. These settings are meant to be used as a quick and easy jumping off point. Anyone who has read Dawn fully should be somewhat familiar with these types of settings, which makes them perfect for conventions, online first series, and any other game that makes you want to get off the ground as quickly as possible. Bare essentials. Magic. Dawn and the supernatural are deeply intertwined. Many of the abilities of both players and NPCs are explained with the presence of magic, and due to mechanics of the game, all players are capable of using this magic by default. Nice. Action. At least half of this book, this is what we were saying, at least half of this book is made to explain how someone punches good. This is under the assumption that characters will fight a lot, and that these fights will be non-lethal and spectacle focused. The world should be full of people to fight and reasons to fight them. Good line. Kane is made by Tom Bloom? I could have sworn we covered Kane. We'll see. I guess not. We covered something by Tom Bloom, didn't we? I'm blanking. It's so fine. Anyway. Unity. Although it's recommended players explore different ideas for the characters, it's important that each has a template that all players use. Player characters in Sand and Stars are Magus, in Daggers and Dust they're Virtuous, and in Fairies and Frost are Keepers. Each of these labels coming with traits that keep the characters well defined, give things to relate to. That's cool. It's kind of like a way to tie you to the setting. Okay. And these are setting guides. Forgive me if I just kind of breeze through these. I'm not going to dwell too long on the settings rather than like the mechanics that make this game flow. But this does look really cool. This obviously reminds you of Magi and its aesthetic. It says here, with those bravest among them, the Magi, drawing power from these stars, using their abilities to elevate their position in the world or provide for those who can't. This is Kasha, a desert world where people draw power from the constellations and become Magi, mounted on sand skiffs, ambitious Magi, or Magi, however you want to say it. Search our planet for fallen stars, a catalyst that enable this attunement. Oh, Tom Bloom is behind Lancer. I see. Yeah, Magna Gothica Malagast is a game that I have seen but never touched, but it has a really cool cover. Okay, I'm gonna breeze through this. This is all setting lore. You're welcome to check this out should this be the part that interests you. A world of daggers and dusk. Pantomime is the world capital of alternate Earth. It's known for 3 things: massive industrial titan, its attractive growing market, and the presence of nightly syndicates, criminal and corporate alliances, each meant to remove their business rivals. Each shady alleyway and smoky smoky backroom is as much a battlefield as the waste wars are waged on, fought with as much biting commentary as screaming gunfire. The nightly syndicates would do anything to keep it this way, a game rigged in their favor, and so it might be time to flip the tables. And that's where you come in. Cool. And then there's one more setting, the world of fairies and frost. Nice. A deadly cold blankets the world. Despite this, the kingdom of Elfame thrives in its walls with its Fae keepers lining the outside, protecting its citizens from the beasts lurking behind the sleet. Magic. Fairies appear everywhere in the kingdom, with the different subspecies seemingly being gravitated to things that share their natures. Cool. So it's like a fairy type world. All right. This is world creation. Interesting. Okay, world creation. At the start of creating a setting, choose one player to be the leader. This is often the narrator, but by no means does it have to be. After the leader is decided, they must present an idea to the rest of the group based on the first prompt below. Based on the responses from the rest of the group, the leader then ranks the idea as might use or won't use. If any player is completely against it, it must be ranked as won't used. Leadership is then changed to the person to the left, and they do the same with the same question if it was determined that the last answer wouldn't be used, or the next answer if it would or may be used. And these are the prompts. Okay, so there's a bunch of core ideas that have to be established before you begin creating your world, and it's kind of like a group vote situation where you guys collectively decide what you want this world to look like and what kind of tropes and themes you want it to hit. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second because I gotta blow my nose. BRB. All right. Sorry, I was feeling stuffy for like 5 minutes there. These are the questions you would ask as a group to begin to build your world together. All right, character creation. Cool. Okay, let's get into it. He's two-part guide on creating a character for Dawn. Placed front and center and is most important part of playing the game for a lot of players. When read from front to back, the section will be missing context. Feel free to come back to this section after reading the rules in full. Got it. Okay, these are the core ideas of building a character. Attributes. Abstract value that define their user's best and worst approaches to the problems. 4 attributes affect the dice rolled for nearly every action the player makes. Body is physical strength and is physical health and strength, affects health and physical power. Talent is your ability to move quickly and perform stunts, affects your speed. Spirit is your natural ability to use the supernatural and think with your gut, affects focus and magic. Mind is your non-supernatural knowledge and your ability to think on your feet, affects utility actions. So there's 4 attributes, and how do you distribute them? Okay, 1 4, 1 3, and 2 2. Okay. Combat is tall, not wide. When creating and progressing your character, realize that keeping your primary high is powerful. Most builds can use a single attribute offensively and this defensively. In most cases, spreading your attributes thin will lead to unimpactful attacks and mediocre defenses. I see. I like how this game is very, so far at least, very honest about what are not only the expectations of the game, but exactly what it is not, as well as how to be good at this game. I think a lot of games leave you to figure that out, like how to be good at games. But this one very explicitly says, hey, you want to max out a stat. And that's really important for you to feel within your weight class, you know? Modes of play. Unstructured play occurs when the majority of players are not fighting. In this mode, rules are much looser, allowing each player to use their problem-solving and abilities to solve problems. Structured combat is structured. In structured combat, what did I just say? Structured combat is structured. In structured combat, each character is arranged on a 7x7 board of tiles. That's not very big. Using strictly structured rules and tactics to take out their opponent. Things like action points and techniques are core to combat. 7x7 board. That's cool. Oh, interesting. So this paragraph basically says that there are abilities that can only be used in certain phases. So some abilities or skills are only able to be used during unstructured play, and some are only able to be used during structured combat, which allows you to like tap into like flavor abilities that might be too busted in combat but are very useful in unstructured, which is, you know, cool. Here, look, it says here, having a non-combat ability that lets you stop time does not let you take extra turns in combat, and having 3 levels in a summon or combat technique doesn't mean you can summon whatever you want outside it. Points of explicit overlap exist. By spending resources, you may pull these non-combat abilities into combat in a duel, for example, but you should always attempt to make connections for features yourself. Most of a character's unique features come from their outlook and their archetype. The first giving tools of unstructured play, the second giving tools for structured combat. Interesting. Thumper says, can you defeat your foe by knocking them out of the arena? I'm sure that's a mechanic somewhere, you know? I don't think it... Well, I mean, just as a guess, I don't think that's going to be a hard and fast rule. But it wouldn't surprise me if there was like an ability that lets you do that, you know? Like if you push a character beyond the 7x7 board, then they are out of combat. But I feel like that'd be kind of over centralizing to the combat structure. But again, I don't know anything about the combat structure, so I'm just kind of guessing here. I think constricting a battlefield of 7x7 gives you some unique opportunities. Like you can use perhaps an AoE ability that covers 4x4 and be guaranteed that that covers a good amount of the battlefield, you know? So if I say I'd have a 7 by 1 line, then that'll cover one side of the board to the other, which is, you know, significant. Outlooks. Each player character is created with a primary outlook, a set of features a character can use outside combat. As the character progresses, they can advance that outlook and branch into secondary ones. So there's the Rebel, the Loyal, the Light, the Wolf, the Mentor, the Apprentice. Oh, that's cool. You can have a character be a mentor and a character be an apprentice. The Accursed, the Blessed, the Quiet, and the Confident. And then on this side, archetypes. So these are the kinds that you can only pick 3 of. When a character created, they can gain techniques from up to 3 different archetypes, with the first archetype taken from being their primary archetype. The 6 are as follows. The Powerhouse. Okay, so let's see if we wanted to hypothetically pick 3 of them. Let's go through these. Powerhouse. Techniques effective in sustained fights, often requires a high body attribute or talent if you want to be a little more frail and fast. Again, talent is the speed attribute. Vagabond. Effective at defeating single targets, often requires high talent. Bulwark. Can build almost any attribute. Can build for almost any attribute, as I'll provide an option to survive longer, but body is the most common. Tank for the team. Sorry, give me another second. Okay, let's see. The Altruist. Techniques that mainly benefit your allies, as many of these techniques don't need to deal damage. Mind is often your best attribute. Oh, so this is kind of like a buffer support kind of character. Disruptor, controlling effects when casting, high spirit attribute, Ruiner, spirit is a must. Okay, so if you wanted to pick 3 archetypes, you would imagine, right, that Disruptor and Ruiner are a common pair because they both use spirit. I imagine Powerhouse and Bulwark are often quite common choices to pick together. Altruist seems like a choice that's a little bit farther out. So it could be the third of your 2. It could be the third of your 3 archetypes, just because it seems more supplemental. But I guess you could just all in on this, all in on Mind, and forget all the other archetypes. But limiting it to 3 is interesting. Okay, and then this is summarized character creation. Oh, this is really great for us because I don't think we'll be able to get all the way through. One, answer character questions. Sure. 2, assign attributes. Yep. 3, spend your character's ranks. Each player character starts with 8 character ranks, and at least 4 must be spent on skills. Remember, the remainder can be spent on an ability, supernatural thing a character is capable of. Nice. So these are like, I don't want to say skill points, but if I am to draw any conclusions, skills are like what you are exceptional at. That can be used. That's useful for unstructured play. So, I don't think we've gotten a look at skills yet. Choose your outlook. Outlook is for unstructured play. And then, oh, that's just all unstructured play checklist. I see. So this all applies to unstructured playlist. Unstructured checklist. This is structured. Answer the character questions again. Assign attributes. Select your techniques. We went over. Have we gone over techniques? No, we have not. No, I think it's these, right? Yeah, you can gain techniques from your archetype. So after you choose your archetypes, you can choose your techniques. Set your default stats. Determine default stats, and there's calculations depending on what you roll. 10, health is 10, plus body, plus tier times 2, and tier is like level. And then speed is 2 plus half of talent. Focus is 1 plus half of spirit. Okay, and these are story details. I don't think I'll go too far into this. Adventure, change. Yeah, I'm being totally subjective about what I'm spending time reading just because I have things that I want to see very specifically, and I don't have too much time to go through the whole game, but this does seem very thorough, which is really nice. I think it's taking the character creation steps very seriously. I do like the red boxes that are happening here. That's very much like the author commentary of, hey, this is what's really important. Let's lock in and read this and make sure that people know that these options exist, or at least these ideas are reinforced. Tiering up is like leveling. Campaign scale. Oh, this is an interesting one because shonen manga famously go from very simple to very complicated. Let's see. Scale is fluid. Right. Underdog story. Bleach, early Naruto, and Avatar. Yep, makes sense. Early Naruto is, I'm assuming, everything until like the Chunin exams, right? Then it gets a little crazy after that. Up and coming, JJK, Fairy Tail, Black Clover. Sure. So this is like guild type adventurers, people who work as a group who are already like established, capable people working together to accomplish things. I'm just reading what they're referencing here. I've heard great things about Kagurabachi. I don't think I've ever read it though. Established elite. Best of the best. Overlord. Incredible. DBZ, Naruto, Shippuden. Shippuden. Yeah, this is like if your character's already busted, this is the kind of story you want to go for. And then legendary is Dragon Ball Super and Shanja novels. I don't know how to say that. Where you're just crazy powerful. Oh, examples. And they have art. Oh, cool.
let's see this example. Titania, the prodigy. Outlook is the loyal. We have the 4, the 3, and 2 2s. These are the skills that they've chosen. Boons and ability. Cool. You can launch lightning if you see the target. Lightning substitutes for electricity. Done so to give a more magical image. Cool. Body build recipes. Oh, so these are like examples of what you can make as a character. Nice. So it's basically like, hey, if you're having trouble deciding on a character, so you can start with one of these recipes, and then from there you can modify what doesn't quite fit and keep everything that makes sense. So this is Magical Brawler, this is Scarred Warrior. This is Tricksy Skirmisher, you can tell by the high talent. And this is Death-Dealing Assassin, which has higher body. And then this leans into Spirit, as you can see here. And then this leans into Mind. Universal rules. More cool art. I love it. This is some like Advance Wars energy. Okay, these are universal rules. Always round up. Specific overrides general. Challenge rolls. Oh, okay, let's read this. When a player does something that'd be interesting to fail, they can be prompted to take a challenge roll. These have 2 parts, the reward and the risk. In structured combat, roles are defined by the mechanics in the book. Most don't have a risk, rewarding better effects with more hits instead. For unstructured play, rewards are defined by the player rolling when they state their intent. The risk can then be defined by the narrator. Totally makes sense. So, hits rolled. Less than tier +1 hits. So if you guys are playing in tier 1, it says here less than 2 hits is the player faces risk. Greater than or equal to tier +1 hits means minimal success, and then tier +1 times 2 is extreme success. Interesting. I wonder how many dice scale, how many dice you can roll for something. Because I think earlier it said like you just need a ton of dice. Yeah, lots of dice. So even at tier 1, right? Tier 1 is tier +1 is 2 times 2 fit is 4. So 4 hits is extreme success at the lowest level of play. And then there's advantage, disadvantage. There is critical hits. I see clocks make an appearance in this game. Okay, I really want to find out about this 7x7 grid, which means I will be jumping around. Okay, here, let's read this actually. Knockouts. Both in unstructured play and structured combat, player characters can get knocked out and removed from the scene. In unstructured play, player characters are knocked out when they receive 3 stress. In structured, player characters are knocked out when they receive 3 wounds. The specifics of how it's done is different, but in both cases, players can stop it by putting something on the line. Putting it on the line. Though normal knockouts are implied to be non-lethal and temporary, there are ways a player can incur permanent injuries if they choose to take the risk. Anytime a player would be knocked out, they can put something on the line instead. When a player does this, they're set to 2 stress/wounds, depending on their mode of play, and restore their health if in structured combat. If the player is knocked out again in the same scene, the thing that they put on the line is lost forever, and they gain 3 influence. The things a player cannot put on the line are as follows, and they cannot pick the same option twice. Ooh, whoa. So these are things you can risk if you want to avoid losing. Your ability to rank up skills from an attribute of your choice, your ability to rank up or expand on your ability, your ability to level up techniques, your ability to rank up bonds, and your character's life, which is obviously the last thing. So it seems like you have 5 different options, and you can't just keep using the same one over and over again. You have to keep changing it. Okay, and this is a duel. When a duel starts, both participants leave the scene, enter a separate scene of unstructured play, and risk is set based on if the players were an unstructured play or combat when the duel started. Duel may resolve immediately if the other players have nothing else they'd like to do. Otherwise, it does at a point determined by the narrator. To resolve a duel, the participants describe how they approach it to gain an advantage. Then an opposed challenge roll is made with players using whatever attribute, skill, ability, and bond seem applicable, and NPCs rolling 7+ tier dice. Wow, that's 8 dice. With adjustments made at the character's discretion. Characters who lose the duel in unstructured are made vulnerable. If they're players, they receive 2 stress. Oh wow, that's a lot, because your max is 3. And if they're an NPC, they are either knocked out or resist, drawing a 4, 6, or 8 segment story clock. That when filled knocks them out, but in structured combat, the player can only duel by using a unique duel action, spending 4 influence rather than AP. That sounds like a lot. The player who loses in a duel in combat takes the 2 wounds as if they're a player, or 15 plus tier times 5 damage if they're an NPC. So minimum 20. Okay, unstructured play. Okay, so full disclosure, everyone, I still have so much jet lag. I behind the scenes feel like I'm barely staying conscious, and I don't want to discredit how interesting this game is by sounding sleepy or bored or yawning. This game seems awesome, and if I just had the right energy levels, I would be able to get through this game much more thoroughly, but I have had maybe 6 hours of sleep in the last 3 days, so this is not the ideal way to stream, unfortunately. So I will regrettably stop the stream here, just because I feel like I'm not doing the game justice, and I'm being a little disingenuous by covering this game through sleep deprivation. That said, I will cover... Wow, what is that page? Sorry, I'm just looking now. Ability glossary. Oh, is this like how to make custom abilities? Cool. Yeah, this game looks sick, you know? It's incredible. You can tell that the author truly understands the shonen manga genre, as they've already listed so many examples of games that you can pull from for influence. There seems to be a lot of mechanics about how to channel very specific tropes. Look, I'm seeing here, do you know who I am? And I'll only use one hand. These are all just very, I don't want to say memes, but very clearly inspired by common anime tropes. The art is incredible. And if you wanted to run a battle manga based, ooh, look, now there's charts. This is cool too. So this is what I'm saying, right? This ability is crazy. Like, because they've constricted the battle map size, abilities that have AoE have almost predetermined success rates in terms of hitting, because, you know, a fireball in D&D is really big, but it's not really big on a 50x50 map, right? But on a game that only plays on a 7x7 grid, moves that take up a lot of space suddenly become very, very valuable, regardless of what the battle map or the series looks like, just by premise of mechanical benefit, which is super cool.
And I don't think I've seen a game that uses a battle map that, besides like chess, I guess, that very specifically constricts how big that map can be. So I think this rocks. I really like this. But yeah, that said, I will. Ooh, wow! Oh my gosh, this game keeps looking really good. I am not even halfway through this game, and I feel like this. Oh look, is that? It's very MHA inspired. There's no world where I get through all of these abilities, all of these techniques, in any sort of thorough cumulative fashion. I believe there's a couple other videos of oneD&D already available on YouTube that you're welcome to check out. But this is not my strongest stream, I gotta say. But I will gladly give a vote of approval for people to check out this game, simply because you can tell that this person knows their stuff and has put a lot of time and energy into making this happen. For people who didn't get to be here at the start, I'll just reiterate and summarize what I've learned about this game, just so I can get you guys on the same page as everybody else. So oneD&D is a game specifically made to emulate, or at least allow players to tell a story akin to the many battle manga and anime that we have basically been raised up on for the past couple decades. It channels a very combat-centric storytelling style where fights are encouraged to resolve conflicts simply by premise of the genre and tropes that they're leaning into, and has a very detailed system in how to design a character fit for the specific setting you guys have in mind. To create a setting is a collaborative effort between the entire table to determine the genres and tropes and themes that you guys will be touching on, but this game also does offer 3 setting guides, or 3 setting examples that you can potentially bring your table to play. Obviously, it encourages taking inspiration from the battle manga that you guys have read in the past, but it does recommend sticking to the mechanical benefits already outlined within the game, simply because power of friendship is very hard to quantify in a game with very established balanced numbers, and it understands the weaknesses of the shonen trope and does its best to be a fair game despite it. That said, this game has 2 modes of play between unstructured combat and unstructured play and structured combat, in which you have abilities that can be useful for one or the other, but not necessarily both, drawing a hard line, a pretty hard line, not super firm, but pretty hard line between what abilities work in each corner, just because balance is really important in a game like this. It pulls from inspirations like Lancer, so if you guys are interested in grid-based tactical combat tabletop RPGs, this game might be the game for you. But with that said, I have to dip out because I think I'm going to pass out. If you want to check out this game, feel free to look up Joel Happy Hill on itch.io. The video link has a video description has a link to all the resources you can get for this game in particular. I believe they have an online Google Sheet somewhere on this itch.io landing page. If you want to learn more about it, you can support Joel Happy Hill here at Joel-Happy Hill at itch.io, when you can see all the other things that they have created as well. I was really looking forward to covering this game, so I hope you guys have a chance to check it out. With that said, thank you guys for tuning in. Next episode next week will be game number 90 of 99. We're narrowing it down. We only have 10 games left to cover. So I'm really thankful for everybody in chat right now. All of your names are so familiar, and I'm so glad you guys keep showing up for these streams. It really means a lot to me to have, however small, a dedicated audience interested in learning about all these tabletop RPGs. So thank you for tuning in. I'm going to sign off. Have a wonderful week and stay frosty. Bye.